Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline at Sips Sports Bar, 3024 West Liberty Avenue, 15216. We have an interesting weather day today. We had a little sun, a lot of rain, more expected. But we have a nice crowd here tonight, a lot of great guests we got to get on here tonight. And thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 everywhere in the Pittsburgh area, Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park, and on YouTube 24/7 you can see us. We have over 200 shows, Smoking Jim, that are up there now. And then on Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook, we hit a new high of 2,860. So thank you very much for that. We appreciate the likes. You know my rule. If you like us first, we will definitely like you. Smoking Jim and I like everything within reason. He likes everything. I have to watch a little bit of it, but that's just me. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. This is Smoking Jim Frazier. We got another co-host of ours on our Tuesday night live show. Zach Brenner's in the bullpen. So we'll bring him out later for a little Z time, but that'll be later. And now we do What's on Our Mind. What's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
I hear you.
You got to see Levine. I like to start off each and every show by giving a shout out to my main man, Dan the Man. He makes the best coffee on the planet. If you like coffee, order a cup from Dan. You won't be disappointed. Please take care of your bartenders and waitresses. And if you haven't done so already, do yourself a favor and grab a menu, because 2 weeks ago I had the best meatball hoagie I ever had in my life, and it's because of the chef. Chef Pete's in the back. I always say later on in the show, I tell you what, we got a young lady who is in a male-dominated sport. And I always say, anything a man can do, a woman can do better. And she is a professional boxing judge. And I tell you what, I've never met anybody in my life that had a better daughter-father relationship. Please put your hands together for Alexis Pierce. No, not yet, Alexis. Not yet, Alexis. Not yet, Alexis. We was just giving you a little shout out.
He was. Let me just tell you the format.
You a little shout out.
He's the best PR man in the city. He's the most busiest guy. You can't say most, but he's the busiest guy in media in the Pittsburgh area. Go ahead, Smoking Jim.
I'm an honest man. Hey, what's the difference between people in Cleveland and a little baby? Eventually, the baby will stop whining. Listen, the Cleveland Cavaliers never won an NBA championship. Now that LeBron James left Cleveland to go to Miami, Miami won 2 championships, and the people in Cleveland is still whining about it. The Cleveland Indians never won a World Series. People in Cleveland are still whining about it. The mistake by the lake, the fumble, the drive. Cleveland Browns All-Pro wide receiver Josh Gordon is suspended for the entire year because he can't put down the crack pipe. The mistake by the Lakes, second best wide receiver, Nate Burleson, broke his arm again lifting weights last week. I used to always say that the only sign in life in Cleveland is the sign that says Pittsburgh, 120 miles. But that was until Johnny Manziel got drafted by Cleveland. Johnny football is the best thing that ever happened to Cleveland. I tell you what, right now, Johnny Manziel's Cleveland Brown jersey is the #1 selling jersey in all the NFL. Right now, Johnny football t-shirts are jumping off the shelf. Over the weekend, 3,000 people bought season tickets to the Cleveland Browns. So now it's time for Johnny Manziel to change his name. Forget Dr. J. Forget World Be Free. Forget Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Forget Meta World Peace. Forget Ocho Cinco. Forget Hulk Hogan, Whoopi Goldberg, and Harry Houdini. Johnny Manziel needs to change his name to Johnny Cash.
And all the statements by my esteemed colleague are the disclaimer. He'll back them up because he's an honest man. I didn't hear it. I'm a little deaf here. Well, first of all, everybody knows I don't really wear a T-shirt, but my son graduated from the Navy, so I wanted to, in honor of his getting me a T-shirt. That's my sailor son, Andrew Levine. So what's on my mind is Penguins. I don't have the volume that Smokin' Jim has, but you got underachievers, you got paper champions. They've done this since 2009 when they won it. They play great during the season. The coach has an expiration date. It should have been last year. They actually signed him. The average life of an NHL coach is less than 4 years. Bylsma's beyond that. So you have to go with, forget the opinions, how about the facts? He's not leading the team right now. You got the best player in hockey has 1 goal in this series. And I'm a Sid Crosby fan. They're blaming Fleury for all this stuff. I saw guys that look like Rusty Gates, Smokin' Jim. All they did is creak and let a guy go in and score. I mean, I'm glad the game was only 3-1 in this last game, but I'm still for the Pens. I know they're going to win it. They need 1 more in this series. Let's go Pens. Introduce yourself.
Tyrone Ezell, Pitt alumni. Now, Houston, Texas.
Hold it. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Steel Valley.
Can you say that again?
Steel Valley, baby.
Thank you.
Ironman.
And a shout out to Zach Brenner and Brenner Contracting for getting this young man here. Thanks for coming on our show.
No problem.
And you got drafted. By who?
Houston, Texas.
Who's your favorite team now?
Houston, Texas.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
We just had a conversation. You must have been listening from the bathroom when we were talking out here. We just said, wouldn't that be great if he went to the Super Bowl, right?
That'd be awesome. Definitely. First year in the league, Super Bowl. That'd be awesome. Man.
Now, tell the folks out there if they haven't watched a lot of Pitt like I have. Smokin' Jim only watches a lot of film on guys. So.
Okay.
And he did write an article. I don't know if you saw, but he wrote an article in our magazine about a guy that you might know. I don't know if you know this young man.
Oh, yeah, I know that, man. Been playing with him.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been playing next to him
Dynamic
for 2 years.
duo.
There you go.
AD.
That's it.
AD, Aaron Donald.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Donald there. That's how they are. Is that the right position? He's on your left?
Yeah, it depends on the way that
I noticed you guys flip-flop a lot.
Oh, yeah, it depends on what the tight end's at,
How come you're taking a couple blockers a lot more than he is?
Nose guard, that's what my job is, to take on 2 blockers.
I noticed that a lot.
Yeah. That's what everybody was telling. They say you always got 2 people on you. That's what my job description is. Nominate, take on 2 people and let everybody else go.
Have you always been a nose tackle?
No, I came in as a 3 tech in high school. I played 3 technique, and then I came down there and got moved around a lot. I played DN, 3 tech, nose guard, and I just felt comfortable at nose.
And you've had some success.
Yeah, it was pretty good, area to play in and everything. Cause I just feel like big body, so
I could see that.
Yeah,
strong, my man.
What's your size?
6'3", 328 right now.
You don't look 328.
Yeah,
you know that.
I know that.
He looks. I thought he was about 299, 300.
That's what they say. Yeah, I hold it well. Since I was in high school, people always told me, you got a frame for 300. And
you're like, I'm there.
Yeah.
He said, I've been there.
Yeah. Over it.
You get up to that weight all natural?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, there we go.
He does that to try to trap people.
A lot of good eating. Let's put it that way. A lot of good eating.
Where's your favorite place to eat? Do you have one?
I really don't have one. I mean, Mom's Kitchen is probably on the top of the list.
You're
there.
saying
the 30-0!
No, he's saying it's after Mother's Day, Smokin' Jim. You're a mama's boy of all people. He doesn't even cook.
No, I haven't cooked.
Can you believe at 35 years old he doesn't cook?
Hey, if it's good, why?
You two are on the same page here. You got a script here?
It's a black thing.
You got a script? Wait. Oh, no, that's not the script. Sorry, wrong thing.
Yeah.
So when are you going to be moving to Texas?
They got a scheduled leave on Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
Already.
I tell you what, I'm in Houston, Texas a lot as an NFL scout. I've gotten 15 scholarships to Prairie View A&M out there, and I tell you what, the best kept secret in the whole nation is Houston, 4th largest city in the whole country, and I tell you what, it gets live down there, bro.
Stay out of trouble. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, down your own business. That's
Keep
later
doing
on.
what you're doing. I want to see you on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's the goal, definitely.
That's my goal, to watch you on every Sunday.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll definitely be there.
And you'll be heading there Wednesday?
Wednesday.
They say they're going to put you on TV a little bit, or you don't know?
Don't know all that. Nah, just get down there, getting situated with the team, the area, and
get introduced and everything.
All the coaches and all the important people that's down there.
Sure.
You know, one of the best nose guards to ever play in the National Football League, Casey Hampton, lives down there, so look him up.
That's where he down there?
Look him up, yeah.
Okay.
A big snack. He'll help you if you want to eat natural food now. Not the stuff with things in the natural.
If you have a hard time finding Casey Hampton, you usually find him at most of the strip clubs.
I stay out of them areas, and it's not where I like to be at there.
I'm glad this is a family show. Smoking Jim's dancing around that family show all the time. He tried trapping you twice already.
Tried to get
you know what? I got to give this Steel Valley kid an A. I mean, young man.
He only went to Steel Valley 1 year. That don't count.
Say 1 year.
You hear how he is?
Oh yeah, I see.
Just ask him where he went to school.
Where did you go to school?
In God's country, the University of Gateway. What's up, Central?
Gateway.
No, we got another guest coming up. But hey, anything else you want to shout out and say hi to anybody, like your mom?
I mean, just shout out to my moms, everybody that supported me through this process, and Longhorns, Houston, Texas. That's it.
Congratulations, my friend, and good luck to you.
I'm Susan Wagner, and I sculpted these statues around the PNC baseball park.
You better start dropping names of what statues. Look at the camera there, and we'll get a.
Roberto Clemente, Willie Stargell, and Mazeroski.
She made those statues. Yeah. Now she's about 5 foot tall, I think.
5'2".
Okay, I was off a little bit. I have 3 sisters that are all 5 foot tall, so sorry about that. Now, how did you ever decide to make statues of our icons and heroes here? Tell me that story again.
Okay, you want to hear that story?
Yes.
Okay. When I was in college, I drew portraits for the Pitt newspaper, and I drew a portrait of this beautiful man, and I knew who he was, but I wasn't a baseball fan. It turned out to be Roberto Clemente. I was drawing his face, and I thought, my God, he's gorgeous. He's beautiful. Look at his eyes. And it just compelled me to read the article. And that's when I read his life story and found out how he died. And right then and there, I fell in love with him. And
that's a great story.
Thank you.
And it's a true story, Smoking Jim. Only honest people on this show. He started that, so I have to co-sign that.
So anyhow, about 10 years later, I found out the Pirates were going to dedicate a statue to him, and I thought, I've got to sculpt this.
Wow.
I have to, and I.
Wait till you hear this story on what she had to do to get it. I already know the story, but I want you guys to hear it. This is just fantastic. So go ahead. I'm trying to help you here.
Thank you.
Just a little bit of help for her.
Well, anyhow, I called the Pirates, and they said, "Who are you?" That's okay. I understood. And they said, "Well, we're going to have a competition. Do you want to enter the competition?" I said, "Yes, I have to." And
you were obsessed with this.
Yes, and I found out that artists from New York and Puerto Rico were trying out, and I was crestfallen. I thought, I'm never going to get this. Who am I?
Yes.
And anyhow,
you're from Pittsburgh. That's why.
So I sculpted my idea, which is called a maquette. It's a small version of what you see outside the stadium.
What's it called again?
It's called a maquette.
Maquette.
Yes. And
so you learned something, Smoking Jim.
I sculpted that, and there was a
statue.
It's a little statue. And there was a blind competition in that there were no names, no prizes, no identification to it at all. And I found this out later, but anyhow, they called me. The Pirates called me and said, "We have good news and bad news." And I said, "Tell me the bad news first." He said, "Well, you're going to be really busy." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "You got it."
What?
And I screamed. So I was shocked that I won that competition. I found out later that there were about 10 entries, and the Clemente family were the judges, and the pirate officials and the architects, and everybody went to mine only. It was unanimous. So
That is such a great story.
Yeah.
When she told me that a month or so ago, I said, "Would you come on my show?" And she was so nervous. She's like, "What show? What do you mean you do a TV show?" And we got her here after only one delay. That's a fantastic story.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful statue. It really is.
Thank you.
And you've not only done that statue, but you've done other statues too. Not in Pittsburgh too.
Right. The Jackie Robinson people were at the unveiling of the Clemente statue, and they said whoever sculpted Roberto is going to sculpt the Jackie Robinson. And so they called me a couple months later and asked me to sculpt Jackie Robinson for the Jackie Robinson Foundation. And I have another really neat story about that. He said,
Well, that's why we brought you here. Come on now, we want to hear these stories. No more secrets. We have an honest group of people on our show.
I really think I'm blessed, honestly. I mean,
You are.
Thank
As
you.
we are. All of us are. Look, we're talking to you on TV.
So anyhow, they called me up, and I was shocked. They said, "Would you sculpt Jackie Robinson for us?" I said, "Of course I would." And I said, how would you like me to sculpt him? And what size? At 14 feet. Okay. So
14 feet.
he's 14 feet high, and I said, well, we're going to send you 5 photographs, and you choose which one you want to sculpt. I said, okay. So they sent me 5 different photographs of him, and there was one pose that I knew it would be a great statue. I said, I'm going to choose this one. And they said, "Susan, that's our logo. That's his victory pose." So I thought that was kind of a cool story.
The synchronicity of the universe, right there.
Yeah. So he's in Jersey City at Journal Square, and I've done other ones too.
Sure. Well, now you have a couple different things that happen on a negative note. I wanted to bring those things
okay.
up. Yeah, if you don't mind, because we're
Okay.
trying to help you.
Okay, and then we'll go to positive.
Yeah, we'll end with positive, but I wanted to bring this up.
Okay.
I'll
I
hold
was
it up.
conned.
Listen to this.
Several years ago.
I'll hold this one up. If you can get a close-up, John, not the tiger.
That's a 12-inch maquette of Michael Jordan, and somebody from another country called me.
You can say the country if you remember.
Puerto Rico.
Okay,
It was Puerto
thank
Rico.
you.
Okay.
Remember, we're trying to find this.
Yeah. So he suggested I bring this on. So anyhow,
Yeah,
I was
this was
conned.
my idea.
I sent
And
it
Robert
down.
DeGabriel.
Okay.
Yes.
I sent it down. Long story short, I never got paid. So if that's floating around somewhere, so if anybody sees it, and there's another one I have that was taken. This
Here,
one
I'll hold it up because John, not the tiger,
This is a small one.
getting close-ups.
That's a small one. Somebody was setting up a gallery in East Liberty, and before it opened, they decided to have a party, and a guest walked off with that.
And they were not from Puerto Rico on this one.
No, Pittsburgh.
This
And
was somebody in Pittsburgh.
So if anybody sees this and wants to return it, you can take it to a cafe in East Liberty. No questions asked.
Mention where this cafe is.
Okay, this is the good part. This is the BFG Cafe at 5335 Penn Avenue. And if you
Let's see if we can get a close-up
Okay.
of this. John, can you get a close-up of that? That's where you can drop these off.
just put it on the counter and tell the guys there, this is for Susan. No questions asked. No, and they'll give it to me. This cafe is a Greek cafe right around the corner from my house, and the reason I'm mentioning it is there are a lot of art shows there, and I have a lot of my paintings there right now, And John is a great, John and his staff are the most wonderful people in the world. And if I sell a painting, they want nothing for it. They will take nothing. You don't find that here, you know. And there are other artists that I invite to show their paintings, and in September there's going to be a whole new show.
Maybe we'll have you back on. If you want to come back on, we'll help promote what you do in September. We'll see you before September.
Yes.
Maybe August.
Okay.
But seriously, try to help out with these missing statues. And you can go to the, what is it again, BFG?
BFG Cafe on Penn Avenue, the best Greek food in the world.
Oh, gyros?
Yes.
Well, you know the owner, we're not allowed to mention his name, but he's Greek that owns it. My friend here that owns Sips.
Okay.
So, but he has the best. He has the best meatball hoagies that he had 2 weeks ago, I think. I haven't had one in 3 weeks, so I don't know what's going on here. But no, thank you for that, Susan. Did we cover everything that we needed to?
I think so.
All right.
Okay,
and now when you see those statues at PNC Park, here's the lady that made those two.
I'm Joanne Forrester. I'm a business owner. I've been in business for over 30 years, or our company has been, and I'm a sports fan. And one of the things I wanted to say is to all you guys who have daughters, one of the most important things is that you encourage them. My dad took me to every football game, hockey game, you name it, horse racing, crap game. I won't tell anybody that. But
it's a family show. But did you make any bets on that? Never mind. We're not gonna. We don't want to know.
As a little girl, he just took me everywhere, and that really gave me a lot of confidence. And I learned a lot about sports. And I think that's the greatest thing a guy can do for his daughter is teach him about sports.
Well, you have to stick around because we have one of the 2 female judges in the whole state for boxing coming up a little later after our halftime show.
Great.
So wait till you hear that story. Yeah. And she'll be up later.
Yeah, and I just want to say kudos to these guys because of the way they feature sports and the way they
How about business too?
And business. And look how handsome he is.
Thank you.
So I just want to say thanks. I love your show, and I also love the Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Well, thank you, but you know I do shameless plugs myself. What's your business? I forget. You have a couple businesses. Why don't you?
SI Business Associates. I've raised over $40 million for small businesses in loans and investments. And also,
can you talk to Little Z, Zach Brenner, needs you to help him.
Little Z's been after me already.
Okay, he wants to do some business there. So.
That's right. So Little Z and I will sit down and talk. And I also have an event management company where we raise money for organizations that benefit women and children. And we've raised about at least $500,000 in the last few years.
Congratulations. Any other thing you want to plug before you go? How do they get a hold of you?
They give me a call at 412-440-6969. They also look at my website, empressofbiz.com, empressofbiz.com, and give me a call. And also I have the Empress of Biz talk show.
And like her on Facebook, Smoking Jim, Empress of Biz. EMPRESS of BIZ. There you go. Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you.
And you want to introduce a friend of ours that's going to come up next? Deirdre?
Deirdre, come on. My very good friend who, like me, had a father who really encouraged her. Deirdre McAwee-Gross.
And wait till you hear this story.
It's a fabulous
Thanks,
story.
Joanne. Hello. Deirdre, welcome to the show. You want to stand up so they can get a photo? Hold your dad's photo, too, there.
I'm going to actually show.
Okay. We don't have this happen on our show too often.
This is actually my dad's jersey from when he was in the CFL, so.
And that's Canadian Football League.
What team?
The Montreal Alouettes.
Oh, that was my favorite.
Really?
My favorite team.
Yeah, they actually went
He's
to the
an
Grey
honest
Cup.
man, so you can't even question that, folks.
No, but he wanted me to put a picture up. This is my dad.
Well, sure.
The one thing about my dad, I actually didn't know until I was in high school that he had actually had this whole big career. He was
Really?
a very quiet man. He never talked about any of it. All of this stuff that I have in scrapbooks now, it was all in a trunk in our garage.
That's so cool, though.
And my mom actually put together a scrapbook, and I found out my dad he was actually one of the founding people for the Florida State Seminoles before Florida State got really big.
Did you hear that? Florida State.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually played with Lee Corso, who was with ESPN, with Burt Reynolds. Actually, Tom Nugent was the coach at the time.
Wow.
You're dropping names like crazy, Deirdre.
Yeah. There was also a gentleman named Von Manchu, if any of you are aware of him. He's also a coach.
I'm not aware of him.
Yeah. My dad actually got into a couple different sports Hall of Fames on top of it all. He was in 1991 inducted into the Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame, and then in 1993 with Florida State's Hall of Fame.
That's great.
What high school?
He actually went to Monaca High School. He started his career in football, like past high school, obviously, with Geneva College. And he actually was a walk-on with Florida State and got a scholarship as a walk-on.
No way.
Yeah.
What a story. Are you writing a book on this?
I probably should, but guess what? My dad's already in a book.
No.
It was actually written by Burt Reynolds and Bobby Bowden from Florida State. And there's a wonderful story in here about Burt, who, you want the book again?
He wants a close-up of that.
Okay. Burt was a freshman when my dad was captain of the football team at Florida State.
Yeah.
And Burt had gotten his heart broken, and he actually had punched a hole in the door of
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds did, and it happened to be my dad's door. And this is in the story, and he was stuck there. And my dad opens the door, big man football, big man on campus being the captain. And Bert's like, oh, well, I just got my heart broken, blah, 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 blah. And my dad looks at him and he goes, tough break, kid. And he closes the door on him with Bert's hand still in the door. So that's actually in this book.
No wonder he become an actor.
Yeah. So one of the other things that I didn't know about my dad was that he had gotten, I don't want to say drafted, but the Green Bay Packers tried to recruit him.
Okay.
There's actually a football contract from the Steelers.
No way.
I'll show you it.
You gotta show this.
Where is it? There it is, the blue thing. That my dad never signed.
Wow.
How come?
Well, this was before the Super Bowls, and the reason that he went up to the CFL is because guess what?
Money.
Money.
Wow.
And
Did I do all right?
What's that?
Did I guess all right?
Yes, you did. You did very well. So, both the Green Bay Packers and the Steelers wanted him. I actually have a telegraph. I guess I'll show that
And
too.
what year was that contract sent to him?
That was in 1955.
Wow.
So,
That's quite a few years before the Steelers got good.
Yeah, well, it's before the Super Bowls. It was
Way
millions
before.
Of dollars
It wasn't until the 70s.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is actually a telegraph from the Green Bay Packers telling my dad not to sign with anybody unless they talk to him first.
Wow.
Well, he didn't do that either.
Your dad was a stubborn guy.
Yeah, so he
did what he wanted.
Yeah, well, it all worked out because he went up to the CFL and went up to Montreal and met my mom. So,
bonus. That's why you're here.
So I guess everything
I
works
figured
out
it
the way
out.
it's supposed to. Yeah, yes you did.
Wow.
Yes you did.
You're not testing me too much today.
No. So
That's a great story.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I never knew any of this until I was
You were
almost an
surprised.
adult myself. Because my dad was he was as big as they said, he was as big as a house.
Yeah.
He was a big man. And
How big was he?
6'3" and just a
Muscular.
huge guy.
That's a great photo.
Yeah, he would scare everybody I ever dated just by shaking their hand.
He might have broke some fingers.
Yeah, pretty much. So he was just a big, big man, but he was a gentle giant, actually.
Is this your dad?
So that's my dad with Burt Reynolds.
Oh my
I guess
goodness!
years later,
I'll hold this one up.
Yeah, years later after the
She's an
door
honest
incident.
woman, Smoking Jim. Everybody's honest tonight.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds and your dad.
Yep. Yeah, that was at one of the reunions. I guess Burt forgave him for the door incident.
Boy, we're giving Bill Boyce a workout tonight. Bill, you've earned that pay that we've been giving you every week. I'm gonna multiply that by 10. The same thing we've been giving you every week.
And this this right here was.
I don't know if we can. This is too small.
Yeah,
we're not
it's probably
gonna,
too small. But
we're not going to even try.
it's an article that was written about my dad, where he was actually likened to the other Pittsburgh, Beaver County people, Joe Namath, Mike Ditka, and Tony Dorsett. He was likened to those guys, like he was in the same echelon as them. My dad played tackle, and he did both offense and defense, which is unheard of these days.
Right, a two-way player.
Yeah, a two-way player, and he was called one of the greats by the people that inducted him into this Hall of Fames.
That's a great story. Now, I do shameless plugs. Tell the people what kind of business you have.
I have a company called Mac Strategies, for Mac-A-Wiki.
No way.
Yeah.
Boy, what a coincidence. Brilliant.
And I do personal productivity consulting. I do time management, professional organization, and process improvement. I do it residentially and for businesses.
Do you do any scheduling? Because my friend here needs some help.
Yeah, I could help.
Can you help him, like with calendars and writing things down that he should write down, and phone calls to make, and different events to go to?
Oh, I can get him in shape. I'm actually called the personal trainer for your life.
I know that. That's why.
I'll get you in shape.
Thank you.
You have a business card. I'll give it to. Give your number out, website, Facebook, and everything right now.
Sure thing. My phone number, if you want to reach me, is 412-414-2242.
A lot of fours in there.
My website is www.makkstrategies.com. And I am on Facebook. Just look up Mac Strategies and you'll find me there. And I actually have a Facebook for my dad now. I actually did that recently.
No way. I'll have to like it. Did I like it yet or not?
I think you did like it already.
I think I was one of the first.
And it was just Big Al Mac-A-Wiki, because he was Big Al.
Well, from one Big Al to another, thanks.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure having you on the show. You might as well introduce yourself and we'll go from there.
So I'm Alexis Pierce. I'm a professional boxing judge licensed in Pennsylvania. There's 2 of us in the state, and I cover the western part of the state here in Pittsburgh.
That is great. And when did you start with this, being a judge?
I started with amateurs probably about 9 years ago, and now I do professional, and I've done professional boxing for about 5 years, but I still do both amateur and professional boxing.
That is awesome. I know I've seen you at the amateur and pros, because Smoking Jim brings me along.
Right.
So I appreciate it. I'm blessed that way that he's brought me along, and I did meet you over the time.
Yes.
Now tell us, you have some great stories.
Yeah, how I got involved in boxing, because that's the question everybody always asks.
Well, that's mine, and we already talked, so I don't want to even say it, but you said it all. Go ahead.
Fair enough. So
fill us in right now, and look at Bill one more time so we get a great photo here.
So people always ask how I got involved in boxing, because in the boxing family, somebody either had a dad or they boxed themselves or they had brothers. And people, when I came on the scene, they didn't know, my history and my background. And I always tell them, well, I got into boxing. I'm an only child. I grew up watching boxing with my dad, who shared fishing with me and boxing.
Wow.
And they always ask, well, was he a boxer? And I said, well, he grew up in the projects in Clairton. He had a lot of fights, and none of them were ever in the ring. But he really did he loved the sport.
So you had the love of boxing because he was successful out in the streets.
That's right. Yes, okay. He was definitely a street fighter. So joined the Marine Corps, which straightened him out a little bit, though. But I fell in love with the sport. I trained as a boxer.
Did you?
Yeah, probably about 15 years ago, and it made me love it even more.
Well, when you were like 5 years old.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, a long time ago.
That's what I thought.
So, yeah, you can start at the age of 8, so, right?
Yeah, you started early because your dad had you out in the streets beating up the boys. I got you.
He said, don't come home unless you win. That was usually his role, right?
I guess the street lights were still on?
Right,
okay.
Exactly. So I fell in love even more with the sport, understanding it and executing all of the punches and really starting to understand it. So
how about the footwork and everything like that?
I learned all of the footwork. It's funny because when people see me work a heavy bag or jump rope, it's how I get immediate respect in a boxing gym. If I walk in, they know that I actually know what the
That's
heck
great.
I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from there, I thought I'd really like to get in the ring, but I'm in sales, and probably having a black eye or a fat lip wouldn't look so good. If
You can wear makeup and stuff, can't you? Like here, if you hold the magazine, hey, Bill Boyce, we need a photo of this.
I didn't think this look would go too well in a boardroom. So.
We'll get Bill to take a photo to show that you're much prettier than the guy we have as our model there.
So,
thanks, Alexis.
Sure.
We do shameless promotions for ourselves, too, in case you didn't notice.
So I figured, the next best thing, if I wanted to be as close to the action as possible, would be to judge.
Sure.
My mom said the only thing, if I ever got in the ring, I was allowed to do was announce. So judging was my next best. Judging was my next best option.
Not many choices.
Yeah, not many choices. And I wanted to do professional boxing, but our state said you've got to pay your dues, and you have to do amateur for at least 3 years before we even consider, accepting an application or training.
Well, so any ladies that might want to do it, how old? You have to be 18 or older to be a judge?
So I think, it's probably 18 or older to be a judge. You start in amateurs, and it's a great training. Now the amateur rules have changed.
Sure, we've heard and seen that now.
Yeah, it's
10-point must system.
10-point must system.
And it's such a delay with 5 cards.
Right, but they only use 3, so they take
shuffle
2
them.
out. They shuffle them and they take 2 out. Yeah.
See, Smoking Jim, that's why it takes so long, because we're doing some banter back and forth. It's a long process.
I think the system, because it's so new, you'll start to see an ebb and flow to it, where it's a big change, but it's closer. They are trying to make it closer to professional boxing.
Sure.
And trying to get that scoring to look similar, because essentially that's what they want boxers to do. Come up in the amateur ranks. And then,
Turn
go
pro.
Right. So this kind of gives them a better idea of what they're looking to do.
Well, Alexis, how do you deal with the controversies in boxing? I've seen guys win every single round, and when the judges announce a unanimous decision, there's still a fourth of the arena that boos or thinks it's the guy got ripped off.
Absolutely.
So how do you deal with that?
It's interesting, because when you're watching boxing as a spectator, as opposed to watching it, judging it, you actually see 2 different fights. So it's really interesting if I sit back and just watch a fight for my enjoyment, I may not know who the winner is unless I'm sitting and scoring it, because really you've got to not favor one boxer to the other. And you've got to kind of keep your eyes centered between them and understand who's winning each round based on, if they're a better power puncher, if they're a better defenseman, if they have better ring control. So there's a lot more that goes into an account than somebody that's just maybe jabbing a lot more in a fight. So it looks very different from the outside than it does from the inside.
Can you explain how they score points with the gloves? Like, what they have to hit and how they score on your card?
Yeah.
Because that always bothers me, because I see some guys that are wailing at these guys going ahead, but they're not really scoring anything.
Yeah, so it's interesting in scoring. Number 1 is definitely power punching, and that is something you learn in the amateurs, because they wear the white part of the gloves, and it has to connect to a scoring area of the body. It's a little smaller in amateurs because
Explain the scoring area, because a lot of people don't know.
Sure.
We assume that because we watch boxing our whole lives.
Yeah, so amateurs is a little different than professional. So amateurs is, brow line, down essentially the core of the body, and then it's the central part of the core kind of to your belly button. That's why we look at it.
So if they're Urkel, it's a higher one?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I've noticed that a few times.
There's some strategies that people wear their belt high, right?
Right, and then one of my friends and our friend worldwide, he just won the Golden Gloves, Mike, and he was having problems with his shorts staying up.
Right.
And I think it held him back, but he won the Golden Gloves, so. Yeah. But that was odd, too.
Right. Yeah, so you have to connect, and it has to be an unabated punch. So that punch has to come into the body.
Okay, and actually score and hit.
It has to hit, and it has to have power behind it. So that's how amateurs used to be scored, but it does kind of prepare you to see really an executed straight punch when you're watching the dynamics of a round. But you're always kind of keeping that score of who's getting 10 points in the round and who's getting 9 points. And that dynamic may shift throughout that round, as opposed to, somebody might have a little slower start in the round, and then they may come on really, really strong at the end of the round.
We've seen that a lot, so that's a great point.
So at that point, at the end of the round, when they overall have done much better, then they win that round.
They would get the 10.
And
now, you might give somebody lower than 9. What would determine that?
So
Because
the only
that's what's interesting to me when I see the card.
Right.
Because sometimes there might be a 10-7.
So typically, if you see a 10-8 score,
Yeah.
it's because the opponent has hit the mat at some point in time.
Okay.
Anytime an opponent hits a mat, he loses a point immediately.
Right.
So it immediately, if it's already a 10-9 round, it becomes a 10-8 round.
Because we saw guys hitting the mat 2 and 3 times.
And every time they do it, they lose a point.
Okay.
Wow.
And one of those guys, I think, won even or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'll see the ref. The only
Okay.
time they don't is if the ref calls it a slip, and you'll actually see him call it off.
When he does that
When he
and
does
rubs-
that it's a slip, and then they're not losing that point at that
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
That might be some of the confusion for us amateurs that are watching, not the
Right,
boxers.
right.
You know the scoring. Now the pros, how much different is that? The scoring area, is it bigger?
So the scoring area, you do kind of consider the arms as well.
Okay.
As part of, and obviously they're not wearing the headgear.
Right, so
there's
it's
a little
anywhere.
more area. So it's obviously not illegal, right? So nothing in the back. It still has to be the front of the body.
Sure.
And it's still kind of at that midline at the waistline. But arms are kind of.
So when they're
considered
trying to
that as
punch
well.
him in the kidneys or the back of the head, there's
Right.
no points. They're just trying to hurt somebody.
Right, they're just trying to. They're kind
And
of
that
a dirty
thumb,
boxer.
that's not a point there
That's
at all.
not a point
Okay.
either, no.
Not
No
the thumb.
elbows, yeah, no
Well, I
headbutt.
noticed a lot of that in there. And what's this holding people's head down and stuff?
Right, so
No
they can
points
lose
there.
points that way,
Well,
right?
I've seen
Because
that.
That's if they continue to do that, the ref will quietly. You don't really see it, but he'll tell them, knock it off, or you're
Right.
going to lose a point.
We've actually heard. We have a couple friends that are referees there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're pretty strong on
They do
that.
a lot more talking in the ring than people realize.
I was surprised being
Yeah,
that
they're always
close.
kind of talking to the boxers.
You have some great stuff going on. You're a senior. You're graduating from Central Catholic.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean,
What's the news? Give me the news
on what?
on where you're going.
I'm going to West Point.
West
Next year.
Point.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That is awesome in itself.
Appreciate it.
That is great.
So I'll be playing defensive end there, and for the first year, I'll go to the prep school, and after the prep school, I'll have 4 years in the academy, and then after the academy, I have 5 years in the service and 3 reserve.
That is great. No, that's quite an opportunity to go there with
Yeah.
what they pay for and what they do
Oh,
for
yeah.
you. It's just unbelievable. Your dad was telling me a little bit about it, so you don't have to go into all the details, but that's such an honor.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, the acceptance rate is really low. I think it's around like 8%. So I'm pretty honored to
See, he's
get
not
in.
homeschooled smoking, Jim.
That's good.
And you were a starter all 4 years at Central Catholic, or?
I transferred from Thomas Jefferson sophomore summer, so I played 2 years at Thomas Jefferson where I started my freshman year. I was second person in their history, so 52 years to start as a freshman.
Really?
Yeah, so
That's quite an honor.
Well, I can see why Central recruited you.
yeah. Oh, okay. Recruited me.
Don't buy into his stuff. Gateway actually has they have apartments that they have people go in because somehow the parents are all working in Monroeville and Gateway. So that's his background because he's an honest man.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't hang with big dogs up at Quad A, so that dropped down to Triple A this year, huh?
Whoa! Let me shake your hand on that. Smoking Jim, this guy's a smart guy. What was your QPA?
My QPA was around 3.7, 3.8.
Smoking Jim?
Out of 4-0?
No, out of 6.0. Out of 6.0. What do you think? 4.0. No, that's great.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. No, I'm glad I got to meet you because your dad had talked about you. And I actually asked about 5 months ago if you'd come on the show.
Yeah.
Because we had another friend of our show, friend of yours.
Eric McAllister.
Yeah.
Eric was on our show.
Eric's one of my good friends.
No,
I
he's
was just talking to him.
Were you?
Yeah.
Now, we'll post this up on, Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook, so we'll have it. But we'll get you this video, and it will be on Verizon 32. I know I made this complicated, but public access TV is a little bit different. But this is seen everywhere from Nemacolin up to Cranberry and Wexford.
Okay.
So it's all through the area, throughout the whole city and everything else. So anybody you want to say hi to?
I just want to say hi to my dad and thank him for everything he's done. So.
No, he's a good man. I'm glad I met him at Subway. talked about a magazine, and then
He loves talking. That's his thing.
hold it. I'm the talking machine. Wait a
I know you guys
second.
could battle it out.
Wow. He's really good at it, I'll tell you. He had me on the ropes a couple times. Luckily, these boxers have told me keep the hands up. So, no, but I want to wish you luck. Anything else you want to promote out there, or you have to say? Or
No, just go Army.
introduce yourself. You've been on here a couple times.
I'm Jody Velasquez. I'm author of the Slick Move Guide, the Slick Move Guide Professional Athlete Edition, and the just released.
I want to put this out because
Slick
our
Move
mutual
Guide.
friend was helping you, Renee Horner, on this, wasn't
Yes,
she?
she's the designer. She lays it out.
Here, you can hold the magazine because you're an advertiser in our magazine. I'll hold your book. He's always trying to put it in front of my face. This John I'm not liking here.
This book was just released in March of 2014. It's an updated version of the original Slick Move Guide.
No, this is great. You know I've read it. I'm one of the few that have read it. Yeah, definitely. I'm an honest man.
Yeah.
You know our theme tonight.
Yeah, there's some new updated information in some of my blog posts. I haven't been blogging that much because my guest blogger does such a great job. Smoking Jim.
You might as well put that out. Smoking Jim Frazier there.
And the draft just happened, and I also have the athlete edition.
Whoa, we should have talked to Tyrone there. We're gonna have
Do you guys know any professional athletes that need a relocation
We
guide?
just had one. We just had one here.
I was going to give him a free copy, and he left.
I know that. We'll have to have him. Yeah, but you have to read this. This is even more in depth, even for you, Zach.
Are you friends with him?
Yeah.
We're gonna give you a copy to gift him.
Yeah, he's friends with him. What, this? How'd you get one already? One of these? Wow, he's
You have a copy of my book? Oh, you do?
We're going to have to introduce you. That's Zach Brenner, Jody.
Nice to meet you.
That's
Here's a
little
copy
Z.
of my book. And I was recently featured in Women's World magazine.
I saw
as
that.
an ultimate expert on relocation.
As you are. You got one of your biggest fans in the back there. I think he's from Puerto Rico or something.
I think so. I helped him relocate.
Did you? Whoa, just one. I heard he stole one of those.
Yeah, he did.
The athletic edition. No, we have fun here, and I appreciate what you do. It is a great help to people.
Yeah,
no doubt
especially,
about it.
and you know what? You wear Nike, you wear Adidas, you wear Reebok. You can use a professional athlete relocation guide. You don't have to be an athlete. So it's also a career relocation guide. If you're, making a job change, you're moving to a new city, and you need a quick help.
Yeah.
This is it.
You need questions answered. This is
really.
That's the book
Definitely.
to get.
And, we made it really easy. You can read the bold print. If you don't have time to read the whole thing, you can just read the bold print.
Let me see what you did.
Oh, they're really...
Because I would have helped Smoking Jim with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have guided. You do have bold print.
Oh, yeah. The athlete edition was designed to have all the bold print. So if you really don't have time to read the whole thing, you can read the bold print.
Smoking Jim. This is
It's
like
the
Cliff
quick-
Notes. Explain it's
Exactly.
like the Cliff Notes of moving.
Exactly. Quick,
See,
quick.
I should be on your PR team.
That's right. It's Cliff Notes.
That's excellent. No, thanks for coming on.
All right.
Anything you want to
Thank
promote,
you.
tell them how to get a hold of you.
www.slickmove.net, and it's the Slick Move Guide, and it's available on Amazon.com, and you can get there through my website just with one click.
Tell them the price because it is reasonable. They shouldn't have sticker shock on this.
No,
Okay.
well, the new one is $12.99, but
What's
actually
$12.99?
It is, but
That's great.
The other ones are even lower, and Amazon has lowered them, and I don't even know what they are, but they're lower. So
Well, I
that
hope you make $1 or something off of them.
I make a little more than that.
Okay. We don't want to know the finances. But
Thank
I
you.
hope you. It's a pleasure. Good luck to you on the new edition too. Introduce yourself.
Aaron Jetton, owner and founder of Common Sense Golfer, and talk about the players a little bit.
Is that the Players' Champ? Look at the camera.
Yes.
Bill's trying to get a photo.
Yes, the Players' Championship.
I posted something on Facebook because I was gone this past 3-4 days.
All right.
My son graduated from the Navy, I was telling
Awesome.
you. So.
I'm very, very happy for you.
Thank you. Now, golfing.
Oh.
Some guy won it that only won a second.
Keimer won it, but more importantly, what I thought was most interesting is watching Spieth drop a 2-stroke lead again.
Wow.
And, you know, I think the heartbreak for me is the kid's got talent. There's no doubt that he can win a championship. I think what's failing him after seeing it happen for the second time, his caddy.
Really?
His caddy is.
How do you fix that?
Well, he
get rid of him.
Yeah. Well, the problem you have is these professionals, especially young, they go out and they get a caddy who's a friend. You know, if I make the tour, I say, "Hey, Al, will you carry my bag for me?"
Right.
Well, if you can't,
I'll carry your bag for sure. I don't know golf.
If you can't help me,
take a 7-iron.
If you can't give me an opinion, if you can't control my feelings and me getting down on myself, you're not benefiting me. You're just doing the labor.
Yeah.
And I think when I see that, that's the struggle that I see happening. Is his caddy is lost, and once Spieth starts to get upset, his caddy shuts down.
Wow.
He doesn't try to.
He
pull
folds
him in.
under the pressure.
Yeah, he basically.
He's a choker.
Well, you know, he was a 6th grade teacher for 10 years before he was his caddy. So what was he doing in reality? I mean, I'm not sure.
I don't think he could choke in the classroom.
So
I mean, those kids come at you nonstop.
My advice, for what it's worth, is that Spieth should let his caddy somebody who's on the lower end of the ranking.
Why don't you volunteer to be his caddy?
Yeah, right. I couldn't carry the bag. I'm 43. I'm getting old. I don't want to carry the bag.
Get one of those wheels with that, or put wheels on it.
I'll be the old guy pushing it with the 3 wheels.
I didn't know you're 43.
Yeah, I'm getting up there. Thanks.
You better promote your business. How do they get a hold of an expert like this?
If you want to improve your golf game, without a doubt, then you'll want to call me, Aaron Jensen, the Common Sense Golfer. You can reach me on my cell number, 412-926-3873, or you can contact me by email at aaron@commonsensegolfer.com.
He returns those emails, I'll tell you.
Yes, I do. I also want to give a shout out to one of my students a long time ago when I used to work at a little hole in the wall in Oakmont, little indoor golf store, okay? Brian Hunzinger. Tomorrow, he's playing with Methodist University.
Okay.
For the NCAA D3 golf championship.
Golf championship.
Yep. And he's playing in that, and I wish him the best of luck. And Brian, always remember this: if you get lost in the weeds out there, keep it simple. Don't overthink it, buddy.
The KISS method.
I guarantee that kid, if he wishes, he could be on the tour. Absolutely.
Really?
I think so.
You're hearing that first right now from an expert.
If that's what he wants, I can guarantee you he can do it. He can do it.
That is great.
He's a great player. So I wish you the best of luck, buddy.
I already know that you helped one of our co-hosts, Zach Brenner, because he was hitting balls all over the place. He got some power, but he has to relax.
He's got the power of the punch for sure. But definitely, Zach, we need to get you back in and get you working. We'll get you on the golf course now.
Don't worry, he's going to follow you, so we'll bring up some of those points.
I'm a free man soon, so we'll get you out of here.
There you go. That makes sense.
All right.
Now, anything else you want to put out there now?
No, I just wanted to wish Brian the best, and you know, we got some new things coming up with the CSG golf simulator.
Right.
Some things in the works.
Well, you know we'll have you on soon again.
When that happens, I will definitely bring in some people, and we'll have you promoting some things.
That'd be great. And thanks for being our advertiser, too.
Absolutely.
Did we get you with a magazine?
No,
we already did.
You have, but
we did, but this is a fresh one.
Masters.
Bill, we got to get you. We got the Masters. We're trying to get the Players' Championship here.
Yep. I'm not covering anything, am I?
No, just some damage by that kid there. No problem. Thanks, Aaron.
All right, buddy.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you again.
Thanks for coming out.
Next major.
You
US
tell
Open.
me a week ahead of time.
I will.
I just wanted to document and note that the Gateway guy got a little bit quiet when we got the 6'3", 325-pound Still Valley, Houston,
328.
Texas. 328 in the building.
He must have had that meatball hoagie.
Hey, if I held my breath, I would perish before anybody from Gateway ever made it to the league. They got a lot of guys in rehab, but they don't got a lot of guys in the National Football League.
You're opening up a can of worms there.
Hey, welcome to the sandbox, folks.
They're playing. I got sand in my eye here. Thanks, Zach. I want to give a special thanks for bringing Tyrone out here.
Hey, no problem. Us Still Valley guys, we stick together.
He did. I mean, he drove all over the country so he could follow him out to Sip Sports Bar because he didn't know it was safe out here. And he's welcome back again.
It's definitely safer in Thormont than it is in Homestead. But that's
Are you serious?
Just between me and you.
You know there's other people watching this.
Dave will
that me and you just went to thousands of people.
Dave will probably cut it.
No, he won't. He's a little busy right now.
Congratulations, Dave, on the kid. Glad to hear everything is well, and can't wait
his young
to see
son
the little
Adam
guy.
and Nora, his wife's fine. So
Pumping out boys. So BPTV is going to be strong for many years to come.
we need those volunteers to grow up a little quicker. Because I was struggling, but I do, since we're thanking people, I want to thank John the Tiger Kiger and John on the camera. They're actually two different people. This is John's first time on the show. He tried to make us look better, and I stopped him at least 3 times, so we're fine.
Real
thanks,
quick,
John.
I know we're winding down here.
How much time?
I got a message from Jim Frazier. You rated our draft a D-. Could you go into any kind of contact? I mean, save a little bit for tomorrow night because I'm coming back tomorrow night strong. But for the last couple minutes, what could you say about the draft that you think you were part of?
The Steelers draft or the Rangers draft?
Hey, the Rangers are 2-0 in our preseason.
If you look just at the top of the Steelers draft, you got Smoking Ryan Shazier, all right, which is a great pick. Guy runs a 4.3 40, 2-time All-American outside linebacker, and the Pittsburgh Steelers is moving him inside. They're Gomer Powling their way through the draft again. They're keeping Slow Jarvis, Slow Jones at right outside linebacker when you got a guy who's the fastest to come in the league at outside linebacker since Derek Thomas. In the second round, you get a fat brother from Notre Dame, another chocolate Irish, 330 pounds. Why don't you just keep Ziggy Hood? There was great talent. Cornerbacks available. We need a young cornerback. They go get a fat defensive lineman who can't sack a quarterback. And so the Pittsburgh Steelers right there, just in the top 2 picks, I got to mark them down to a D-.
Wow, that's the opposite of what everybody's saying. Smoking Jim.
Well, they same people that's giving the Steelers an A and B gave the Steelers an A and B in 2008 and 2009, and currently they have
no
0 players on the team from those 2 years in the draft, and I rated it a D.
And folks, that's why you got to tune in again with these 2 guys, because he is an honest man and he's an honest scout.
But the stakes were good.
I didn't ask.
Is there anybody that you liked that we drafted of the 9 draft picks?
Well, if I was playing midget football, I loved the running back from Kent State at about 138 pounds. I love him. I tell you what, the wide receiver coach, Richard Mann from Aliquippa, compared him to the Ice Cube, Gerald McNeil, who weighed 138 pounds for the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Remember the Ice Cube? So,
yeah,
I like that. He played on the big team in Midget League football. I love that pick.
There you go.
Let's wind it down.
We're going to wind this down because we're not sure. We're under a minute. Thank you for watching the show. Smoking Jim, you got any final words? Anything happening this weekend for you or anything you're doing? Or
Tomorrow I'll be again on the Ellis Cannon show. I just got the call.
I think you're moving up to ESPN. You just haven't told us yet. I can't watch that PCNC. I don't get it out here in Bethel Park. I'm missing my man and his 3 minutes of fame all the time. Z, what else?
I just want to give a shout out to Still Valley and the Ironman. More NFL players than Gateway will ever have.
I know, you got to look at the history books.
That's it.
Hey, that's it, folks. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32, Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park, Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. I know we got to be up at 2861, but thanks and drive safely. See you next week.